जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी,
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी,
जय गोपी जान वल्लभ गिरिवारधारी,
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी,
जय गोपी जान वल्लभ गिरिवारधारी,
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी,
यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन,
यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन,
यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन,
यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन,
यमुना तीर वनचारी,
यमुना तीर वनचारी,
यमुना तीर वनचारी,
यमुना तीर
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे,
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण
हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम
जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे राधे,
जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे राधे,
जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे राधे,
जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे राधे,
जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम,
जय कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम,
जय वृंदावन धाम जय वृंदावन धाम जय वृंदावन धाम जय वृंदावन धाम,
जय वृंदावन धाम वृंदावन धाम वृंदावन धाम जय वृंदावन धाम,
जय निमाय निताय जय निमाय निताय जय निमाय निताय जय निमाय निताय,
जय निमाय निताय निमाय निताय निमाय निताय निमाय निताय,
जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद,
जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद
जय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल जय गौर हरि बोल हरि श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की, राधा श्याम सुंदर की, गौनिताय की, सुगोपाल की, भगवद गीता यथारूप की। Ananta Koti Vaishnavindaki
Jai.
Gaur Premanande. So today we are going to read verse from Bhagavad-Gita, chapter 4, text number 6. Ajo api san navyayatma
Ajopi san avyayatma
Bhutanam ishvaro api san
Bhutanam ishvaropi san
Prakritim swamadhisthaya
Prakritim swamadhisthaya
Sambhavamyatma mayaya.
Sambhavamyatma mayaya.
Somebody from Prabhuji's side, want to recite?
Ajopi san avayatma
Ajopi san avyayatma
Bhutanam ishvaropi san
Bhutanam ishvaropi san
Prakritim swam adhishtaya
Prakritim swamadhisthaya
Sambhavami atma mayaya
Sambhavamyatma mayaya.
Ajopi san
Ajopi
avyatma
san avyayatma
Bhutanam ishvaropi san
Bhutanam ishvaropi san
Prakritim swam adhishtaya
Prakritim swamadhisthaya
Sambhavamyatma mayaya.
Sorry, Mataji side.
Ajopi san avyayatma
Bhutanam ishvaropi san Prakritim swamadhisthaya Sambhavamyatma mayaya. So word by word. Aja, unborn.
Unborn.
Api,
Api,
although.
although
Son,
son,
being so.
being so.
Avyaya,
Avyaya,
Without.
without
deterioration.
deterioration.
Sorry, without avyaya, without deterioration.
Avyaya, without deterioration.
Atma,
Atma,
body.
body.
Bhutanam,
Bhutana,
of all those who are born.
of all those who are born.
Ishvaraha,
Ishvaraha,
the Lord, the Supreme Lord.
the Supreme Lord.
Api,
Api,
although.
although
Son,
son,
being so.
being so.
Prakritim,
Prakritim,
in the transcendental form.
in the transcendental form.
Swam,
Swam,
of myself.
of myself.
Adhisthaya,
Adhisthaya,
being so situated.
being so situated.
Sambhavami,
Sambhavami,
I do incarnate.
I do incarnate.
Atma mayaya,
Atma Maya,
by my internal energy.
by my internal energy.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Although I am unborn, and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all living entities, by my internal energy, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. The Lord has spoken about the peculiarity of His birth. Although He may appear like an ordinary person, He remembers everything of His many, many past births. Whereas a common man cannot remember what he has done even a few hours before. If someone is asked what he did exactly at the same time one day earlier, it would be very difficult for a common man to answer immediately. He would surely have to deranged his memory to recall what he was doing exactly at the same time one day before. And yet, men often dare claim to be God or Krishna. One should not be misled by such meaningless claims. And again, the Lord explains His Prakriti and His form. Prakriti means nature as well as Swarupa, or one's own form. The Lord says that He appears in His own body. It does not change His body, as the common living entity changes from one body to another. The conditioned soul may have one kind of body in the present birth, but he has a different body in the next birth. In the material world, the living entity has no fixed body, but transmigrates from one body to another. The Lord, however, does not do so. Whenever he appears, he does so in the same original body, by his internal potency. In other words, Krishna appears in this material world in his original eternal form, with his two hands, holding a flute. He appears exactly in his eternal body, uncontaminated by this material world. Although he appears in the same transcendental body and is Lord of the universe, it still appears that he takes his birth like an ordinary living entity. And although his body does not deteriorate like a material body, it still appears that Lord Krishna grows from childhood to boyhood and from boyhood to youth. But astonishingly enough, he never ages beyond youth. At the time of battlefield of Kurukshetra, he had many grandchildren at home. Or in other words, he had sufficiently aged by material calculations. Still, he looked just like a young man, 20 or 25 years old. We never see a picture of Krishna in old age because he never grows old like us. Although he is the oldest person in the whole creation, past, present, and future. Neither his body nor his intelligence ever deteriorates or changes. Therefore, it is clear that in spite of his being in the material world, he is the same unborn, eternal form of bliss and knowledge, changeless in his transcendental body and intelligence. Factually, his appearance and disappearance are like the sun's rising, moving from before us, and then disappearing from our eyesight. When the sun is out of sight, we think the sun has set, and when the sun is before our eyes, we think that sun is on the horizon. Actually, the sun is always in its fixed position. But owing to our defective, insufficient senses, we calculate the appearance and disappearance of the sun in the sky. And because Lord Krishna's appearance and disappearance are completely different from that of any ordinary common living entity, it is evident that he is eternal, blissful knowledge by his internal potency, and he is never contaminated by material nature. The Vedas also confirm that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is unborn, yet he still appears to take birth in the multi-manifestations. The Vedic supplementary literatures also confirm that even though the Lord appears to taking his birth, he is still without change of body. In the Bhagavatam, he appears before his mother as Narayana, with 4 hands and the decoration of the 6 kind of full opulences. His appearance in his original eternal form is his causeless mercy, bestowed upon the living entities so that they can concentrate on the Supreme Lord as he is, and not on mental concoctions or imaginations, which the impersonalist wrongly thinks the Lord's form to be. The word Maya or Atma Maya refers to the Lord's causeless mercy. According to the Vishwakosha dictionary, the Lord is conscious of all of his previous appearance and disappearances. But a common living entity forgets everything about his past body as soon as it gets another body. He is the Lord of all living entities because he performs wonderful and superhuman activities while he is on this earth. Therefore, the Lord is always the same, absolute truth, and is without differentiation between his form and self, or between his quality and body. A question may now be raised as to why the Lord appears and disappears in this world. This is explained in the next verse. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsa Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsa He Krishna Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastuti Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaiva cha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all living entities by my internal energy, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. So as today is a very special day, and His Holiness Prabhupada Maharaj couldn't make today because of his health. And I seek blessing from Maharaj and all the devotees here, so I can speak something on Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a beautiful verse. Actually, who can describe this Lord's pastime? Very beautiful verse, very important. Prayena munayo rajan nivrita vidhi sedataha Nirgunyastharamante sma gunanu kathane hare. So the transcendental yogis, right, who is already beyond the rules and regulations, right? See, Prayena Munayo Rajan, the Muni who is Nibrita Vidhi Sedata, is not bound to the rules and regulations, is above the rules and regulation and the principles and the restrictions, right? And Nirgunya stha ramante isma gunanu kathani hare. So he is again beyond the gunas, three mode of material nature. As Krishna says that Traigunya visayo veda nistraigunya bhavarjuna nirdvandva nitya sattasto niryuga chematva. So actually understanding Krishna consciousness is beyond the three modes of material nature, right? And understanding this, like is over here explained very that the top transcendentalists who are beyond this niyam, right? They are above the three modes. They actually love to discuss and hear about Krishna. And you all are here today, you know, at least to hear about Krishna's pastimes, about the Lord. And this is very, very important, right? And we can see in Srimad Bhagavatam and even in Bhagavad-Gita, the first important thing is tattva, right? You have to understand the philosophy. So, and then in Bhagavatam, in the beginning chapters, we see like, you know, discussion of tattva, then there is avatars, then only you can approach the transcendental leela of the Lord. Because you can see when it is very important to understand the tattva, because without understanding the tattva, right, to understand leela, it's become very confusing. Or there is a very chances of being very sentimental. Right? So that's why very, very important to understand the tattva. And if in the Vedic, in Hindu culture, you can say that because in Western country they don't even know about the Lord. But in Hindu itself, like, you know, they have so much confusion because the understanding of tattva is very, very less. Very, very less. Right? And there is so much confusion because of that. Right? This tattva jnana is not there. Right? And Krishna says, Janma karma sami divyam evam yuvyati tattvataha tiktva riham punarjanma iti mam iti surjam. Because just by understanding the janma, the appearance and his activities of the Lord, you don't have to take back birth in this material world again. Just imagine the power of just hearing about the Lord. Right? And I just changed my slide because we will not have a lot of time. But I want to recite this Balaram Kavacha mantra before, like, you know, so that because this is a very powerful mantra. Because this mantra, somebody chants, this is given by Gargamuni to the gopis. So this mantra, if somebody chants, it protects us from Maya. As yesterday, we have lecture in Vedanta Sangha, the Guru Sundaranath was sharing that actually we are not very afraid of Maya. So the Prabhupada was very concerned. My devotees are doing practicing bhakti, but they're not afraid of Maya. But they have no understanding that Maya is very powerful, right? And in order to protect, right, ourselves from Maya, this Kavacha mantra of Lord Balaram, there are different kind of mantras Balaram you can find, and this Kavacha mantra, which actually even Duryodhana was taught by Pradipaka Muni. He also taught this mantra to Balaram, to please Lord Balaram. And we're going to recite this. You can follow with me. I'm going to recite it. And by hearing even and reciting this mantra, both will be benefits. Golokadhamadipati Pareshwaraha Pareshu mam patu pavitra kirtana Bhumandalam sarvasapad vilakshate Yanmurdhinam mam patusha bhumi mandale Sena sumam rakshatu sirapanir Yudhe sada rakshatu mam halicha Durgeshu chayan mulasi sadamam Vaneshu sankarshanadideva Kalinda javaiga haro jaleshu Nilambaro rakshatu mam sadagno Vayo charamo vatuke balascha Maharnvanenanta bapu sadamam Sri Vasudevo Vatu Parvateshu Sahasra Srisa Mahavivade Rogeshu Mam Rakshatu Rogininyo Mam Kama Palo Vatuva Vipatsu Kamat Sada Rakshatu Dhenukari Krodhat Sada Mam Divida Prahari Lobhat sada rakshatu balvalari Mohat sada mam kilama gadhari Prata sada rakshatu vrishnidurya Prani sada mam mathura purindra Madhyadine gopasakha prapatu Swarat prahani vatu mam sadaiva Sham Panindro Vatumam Sadaiva Parat Paro Rakshtu Mam Pradoshe Purne Nistecha Durata Virya Pratyushakale Vatumam Sadaiva Videkshu Mam Rakshatu Revati Patir Dikshu Pralambai Adhugya Duvaha Urdhvam sadamam balavedra ara Tatha samantar baladev evahi Ananta sadvyat purushottamo bahir Nagendra lilo vatuma mahabala Sadantaratma chavasan hari swayam Prapat purna parameshwaro mahan Devashuranam bhayanashanam cha Bhutashanam papachedan chayin dhananam Vinashanam vigna ghatasya vidhi Siddhashanam varma varam balasya. Skip the translation. So, who is Lord Balaram? As we know, Jivera Swarupa hai Krishna Nityadas, right? And actually, this principle of making us understand, we are not like Shivera Das or Durgera Das. It's Jivera Swarupa hai Krishna Nityadas. We're eternal servant of Krishna, right? And Balaram actually established this principle, right? By being himself the eternal servant of Krishna. And we have a Sevya Bhagwan and Seva Bhagwan. Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, is a Sevya Bhagwan. He's an enjoyer, right? As God, he wants someone to serve, right? He's Atma Rama. But as a person, he loves someone serving him. So first expansion of Lord Balaram, right? First expansion of Lord Krishna is Balaram. Right? Sankarshana karanato yashai Garbhodashayi cha payobdhishayi Sesha cha yasma sakala sanitya Nandakya Rama Sharanam Mamatsu. May Sri Nityananda Ram be the object of my constant remembrance. Sankarshana, Seshanag, and the Vishnu who lie on the Karana ocean, Garbha ocean, and the ocean of milk, at his planetary portions and a portion of his planetary portions. Sri Balaram Gosai Mula Sankarshana Pancharupa Dhari Karena Krishnera Sevana. Lord Balaram is the original Sankarshana. He assumes 5 other forms to serve Lord Krishna. Right? So as Krishna, I was mentioning that he is an enjoyer. So he giving all this work to Balaram. Right? So here Krishna explained here that after Krishna explains about Balaram, right, as is Sandhini Sakti, right? The Sandhini Sakti is actually a sense of the Suddha Sattva. And in it, he actually holds is a existence energy, and which takes on the place where all the leelas of the Lord, right? And this Sandhini Sakti, that this existent potency actually brings, right, the Sakti of Hladini, right, and Samved Sakti, right? And Balaram first expansion, and he has a main 5 form is explained here. First is the Mahasankarshana. Expands as Mahasankarshana. Then Karona Dakshai Vishnu. Then Garbho Dakshai Vishnu. Then Shiro Dakshai Vishnu. And the Sesha. Right? Acting as a personal service to Lord. So we know in this whole material creation, right? First, like from Karona Dakshai Vishnu, Garbho Dakshai, all this creation is manifestation. Right? All these things are expansion of, all these Vishnu are expansion of Lord Balaram. Right? And we know that Lord Balaram has so many different names, right? Rama, Sankarshana, Dauji, Balabhadra, Rohini Nandan, so many beautiful names, right? And how does Sri Balaram appears? Lord Balaram, right? He appears actually in Swati Nakshatra. Krishna appears in Rohini Nakshatra, and he appears at midnight, Krishna. And Balaram actually appears in the noon. So generally, Lord appears in Abhijit Muhurta. And even before, we can see that even before approaching Krishna, we have to go through Lord Balaram, right? And we know this Swati Nakshatra is a very special nakshatra. Actually, is very, very auspicious nakshatra. And in this, it is said that in this nakshatra, the oysters, they form the pearls. When they drink the water, in the ocean water, they actually form pearls during this nakshatra. And even it says that when the rain, it falls during the nakshatra, the nagas, they form the mani in this process, right? And when Lord Balaram appeared in this nakshatra, right, those lot of pearls, chains, jewels were manifested in all over the world, right? Such a beauty was created. And in this particular nakshatra, this Chataka bird, right? We all know about this bird, very special bird. He doesn't drink the water from ordinary river or some other water resources. This bird especially drinks water from the monsoon cloud. Only from the rain, directly, not even touched. Very pure water. He just waiting, like not drinking for entire year, this bird. Just waiting for this nectarian, the water. So in the same way, Lord Balaram actually appears as this Chataka bird. Right? It's like, he's waiting for this Ganesham, this monsoon cloud, right? And he's trying to get this nectarian, right? The drops. What is this nectarian drop that Lord Balaram is really looking for? The seva ras, this seva, the nectar of service. He's just drinking that. He just wants to be engaged in the service of Lord all the time. And you will see that Lord Balaram is always with Krishna, right? And this is what Balaram is, right? After, we see that before Lord Balaram appeared in Devaki's womb, the 6 right? The Sadgarbhas, it says, were killed by Kamsa. So painful actually to see, and killing in front of. Just imagine this Kamsa, the power of Kamsa. Just imagine, he has 10,000 elephant power. Actually, Jarasan one time saw like the elephants were flying in the sky. Flying in the sky. What happened? Actually, it was Kamsa who was hitting and make this elephant fly. He was so powerful, right? And just imagine this powerful Kamsa taking a baby. Just imagine in front of the parents and throwing on the wall, right? And the parents seeing that, it's so painful, right? But that had generated so much fear in Devaki's heart, so much fear. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that these 6 children, that fear personified, actually because of fear, the bhakti sometimes arise. Because of God, I have so many bad qualities, I need to purify. That fear actually develops. I need to pray sincerely. I need to pray to Lord Balaram. I need this, I need this bhakti. Right? Because it's so much suffering. I have this 6 anarthas, like Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Mad, Matsarya, right? These are the anarthas that has to be destroyed to manifest Krishna in our heart, right? And Balaram actually appearing in the womb of Devaki to make sure, first thing is the womb is properly ready for Lord Krishna. Because Balaram is always concerned about Krishna, right? To give the best service to Krishna. So in that mood, actually Balaram appears, right? In the womb. In here, it's explained, Devakya jatare garbham se sakyam dhamma mamakam tat sannikarshaya rohinya udhare vasaye. So within sannivesaya, within the womb of Devaki is my partial planetary expansion, known as Sankarshana or Sesha. Without difficulty, transform him into the womb of Rohini. Right? Now, once the job is done of Balaram taking care of the womb, so Krishna is instructing Yogamaya, can you please take, this one of my expansion, Lord Balaram, the Sankarshan, to womb of Rohini. Right? So, and we can see that Lord Balaram, he is so much engaged in all the rasas, the 5 transcendental rasas. He expand and serve the Lord. Sarvarupe Ashwadhaye Krishna Sevananda Sei Balarama Gaura Sange Nityananda. In all the forms, he tests the transcendental place of serving Krishna. That same Balaram is Lord Nityananda, the companion of Lord Gaurasundar. Right? So in the spiritual world, devotees can engage in these 5 main rasas. The Santa rasa, right? Santa is neutrality, right? All, you can see every expansion. You see the mridanga, the harmonium, the whole Golok Vrindavan, the clothes of Krishna, everything actually is expansion of Balaram. He just wants to serve Krishna. The grass, whenever he wants to lay, Krishna wants to lay down, he makes sure the grass is so nice, the trees are so beautiful, nice winds is coming, everything, all the elements that Krishna is serving, his bed, his clothes, everything is expansion of Balaram in form of Santarasa, right? And Dasya is always serving, actually he's even massaging Krishna sometimes. When they're playing, the coward boys, Krishna is tired, he massages him. So in that, Lord Balaram serves Krishna as in Dasya mood. And Sakya is actually, Sakya rasa is his predominant rasa of Balaram. He's always like to play, be friend with all his Sridham, everybody is playing, together all the time. Today I was hearing some lecture by Gauranga Prabhu in Srimad Bhagavatam. So many games, you can't even imagine. One of the things there was, and Sanskrit is a very difficult word, but they even pulling the hair. You know how difficult, how painful is this hair when you pull actually they holding the hair like that and lifting. They're playing the game like that. So crazy. They go crazy playing, this Sakyaras. And And one has to be very, very qualified. Actually, it's explained in Srimad Bhagavatam that to hear this coward boy's pastimes, right? And the other is Vatsalya Rasa, as the elder brother, right? Balaram is always concerned about Krishna. Hey, don't go to Kaliya Ghat. Oh, don't do this. Oh, Yasomai, like, he's eating the mud. He's always taking in concern. He's not eating enough. Always concerned as like elder brother, right? And in Madhurya Rasa, so by combining his Sandhini Sakti and Haladini Sakti, appears as Ananda Manjari, the expansion of like Ananda Manjari as a sister of Radharani, right? And Sridham. So Krishna serves in all different service. And we see Balaram has so many features. Actually, he has a wonderful club, right? Sunanda, and to punish like anybody. And he has a flag called Tal Dhwaja. He carries Sampat. His club represents punishment, and his plow. His plow represents the plowing of a heart, the field to nurture the seed of bhakti. Right? When we want to put a seed, like when we do some kind of farming, the land has to be properly like nurtured. It has to be like cultivated, nurtured, and filled, where the bhakti seed can grow. Right? And he was married to daughter of Kakudmi, to Revati, right? So, and Krishna actually has 64 qualities. Balaram also has all the 64 qualities. Only difference is like he has a degree. The degree of the 64 qualities is a little less than what Krishna has. So we'll jump at the pastime a little bit. So, so Vrindavan actually is very, very beautiful, right? And in the summer, like such a nice breezing coming, and one day after the Kaliya pastimes happened and the forest fire happened, so Pralambasura actually came to Vrindavan, and in Bandirabhat, like there is a beautiful banyan tree, and nearby the bank of Yamuna, and Pralambasur planned to kidnap Krishna and Balaram, right? And when he was seeing Krishna Balaram, was thinking that, if I try to attack them now, or if I try to let me first separate them, Balaram and Krishna, so that it'll be easy for me to kill. First I kill Balaram, then I'll kill Krishna easily, or he'll in separation he can die, right? So they were playing pulling the rope and some games, and whoever wins they have to carry the losers. Right, and this Pralambasura took a form of a cowherd boy, right? In a cowherd boy, and they were playing and they lost. The Balaram team won, and Krishna's team lost. And in the Krishna's team, Pralambasura was also there, right? And Krishna carried Sridhama, and Balaram was carried by Pralambasura. And when they were going to this Bandiravat, right, and something wrong happening, like it's going inside the wrong direction, and Pralambasur was going, and Balaram was telling, hey, this is not the way you go to Bandiravat. No, I know the shortcut, I'll take you. And Pralambasur is taking Balaram, and Balaram feeling something wrong, and then Balaram knowingly he started becoming heavy. And Pralambasur is feeling like something is wrong. Like Balaram became more heavy and heavy. And Pralambasur could not even carry, and he started reflect his own original form. And it became very huge. Pralamba, actually Lamba means very long, like his huge, massive body. And Balaram realized this is not ordinary, it's a demon. And Lord Balaram even didn't do anything, he just hit one punch on the head of Pralamba. He's dead right away, right? So, and this Pralambasur actually, and all the coward boys saw glorifying Balaram, Jai, oh Baldauji, wow, everybody's glorifying Balaram. And very interesting that this Pralambasura represents different anartha, the lust of praise, because see, Pralambasura actually disguised as a friend. I am your friend. Sometime in Krishna consciousness also, like in our life, many people come as a friend, as like, I'm very much like, for your favor, like, I'm coming for your benefits. But actually they have different evil intentions. So we have to be very, 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 very careful. Right? So in the form of Balaram as a guru, he is a Guru Tattva, he is Adi Guru Tattva. Right? All the guru are expansion of Lord Balaram. Right? In form of guru, actually guru can destroy this. That's why accepting, and the last time we discussed how much important is accepting of guru. Right? Om jnana timirandasya jnananjana salakaya chakchur unmilitam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha. We might have eyes, but of this ignorance of hatred in our eyes, we cannot see the reality. We are blinded by the false information, the false praise, and we are so much inclined to this, like, this desire of personal gain and honor. And these people, like, hey, it's just like, glorify you, falsely glorify you, and actually taking you away from Krishna. That's the main goal. So we have to be very, very careful in association of this kind of people. And other demon he killed is Dvivida. So actually he killed before Pralabasur, Dhenukasur, right, in the Bergen days, at the age of 10. I didn't want to, I want to skip that because we don't have time. And killing of Dvivida. So this Dvivida is a friend of Narakasur. He's also known as Bhyomasura. Actually, he kidnapped, this Narakasur kidnapped 1600 princes. And these are the princes who, after Krishna killed all this demon, Krishna married all these princes. Because in Vedic time, like, oh, now nobody is going to accept us. Krishna, where I will go? Like, you saved us, but if we have a society, because the society is not going to accept us. And Krishna married all of this, the princes, the 1600. Right, princes. And it is said that this Dvivida, he was already from Treta Yuga, right? And he was serving, he's a minister of Sugriva and a brother of Nainda, right? And when he was actually serving Sri Ramachandra at the time of Treta Yuga, he had so much respect for Lord Ram, but was not respecting Lakshman. He has very offensive mentality. So when we want to, like, worship Krishna, but really disrespect Guru, then what happens is we become Dvivida. We start getting a false mentality. It's like, we start becoming very offensive, and we slowly be disconnected from the service and start offending and have wrong association. Once Guru is gone, somebody to guide you, so naturally you will be disconnected from the wrong thing and connected to disconnected from the right thing and connected to the wrong thing. Right? It's very natural. And that's what happened to Dvivida. He became a friend with Narakasura, the demon. Right? And when Narakasura was killed, now this revenge mentality developed. He generally had that tendency. Actually, when the Putana was killed, Bakasur was killed, and Aghasur came to revenge brother and sister. Same thing, the revenge mentality, right? When Kamsa was killed, actually all his daughters were crying, his wife were crying and come to Jarasan. Oh, father, this Krishna killed our husband. Right? Sometimes we don't know what that person has actually done. Rather than seeing the fault, like, why he killed, is not the important thing for them. Oh, he killed my son-in-law. I have to take revenge. Right? And same mentality, Narakasur, like, being very, very blinded by bodily consciousness. He came to Dwarka. And he did so many offensive things. It's very difficult and shameless to even describe here. Very, very shameless. He was so nasty. He was destroying everything. He was bringing tsunami, and all the girls over there, like, so nasty thing he was doing. He's being there, like, very, very dirty. And at a time, Lord Balaram was was with his concerts and in Revata mountain having very nice fun. And at a time, like, this Dvivida, Kila! He was hitting, like, his chest and making loud sound and really disturbing. And Balaram, like, what is this happening? And Balaram became very, very angry. And he just took a stone and hit him. And then this Dvivida, there's oak tree. He took oak tree and smashed Balaram. And Balaram blocked it. And then he took his club and smashed his head of Dvivida. Blood started oozing from his head. And then, but he, nothing, like you don't see any effect on him. And he started breaking, he was taking all the branches and started hitting Balaram. And Balaram is blocking and they're fighting. And he took all the trees in the jungle, every single tree in Bhagavad explained. He rip off all the trees and hit Balaram. And once all the trees were finished, the oak tree, and then he started throwing all the big, huge stones at Balaram. And Balaram as a playful, like cricketer, like throwing the ball and hitting with his destroying all the stones were finished and smashed. Then Dvivida started now attacking with his fist. So when Balaram saw that now he's attacking with the fist, so Balaram also he actually tried to hit with the fist, but Balaram, nothing happened. Then Balaram took his fist and hit one punch. He started vomiting blood and he's dead right away. And all the celestial beings started flowering, offering and praising Lord Balaram, right? So that's why this mentality, this Dvivida mentality, that we should not offend Guru, right? Also association, a wrong association can take us. You can just imagine, he was a servant of Lord Ram. He was doing so much service while fighting with Ravana. Now see the situation because of wrong association, right? That's a Dvivida. Think about time. So let's very fastly finish this one pastime of Romaharshan Sutta. So while in Mahabharata, during the Mahabharata war, Balaram thought I don't want to take part in this war. I'd rather go to holy places. So he didn't participate. He started visiting holy places. And one day he comes to Naimisharanya. And at that time in that place, there was a lot of many sages gathering. So many learned brahmanas and scholars they were there. And there was a Romaharshan Sutta. All these brahmanas, they have selected as the primary acharya for them as Romaharshan Sutta, right? And they want to hear Bhagavatam from him. And while Balaram was coming, so this Sutta actually means a child from a Brahmana woman and a Kshatriya man. It's called Sutta, right? So we even hear about Karna as a Sutaputra, right? Sutaputra. So it's not very actually low caste. It's, in Mahabharata actually, if you see that even Dronacharya taught the fighting to Karna. But when Arjuna was awarded Brahmasilastra, so he also wanted it. So Duryodhana said, "You're not qualified yet." So then he said he left actually to learn from Parshuram. So this is Sutta, Romaharshan Sutta, and when Lord Balaram came, right, all the sages stood up. But this Romaharshan Sutta, being proud inside, feeling himself as because sitting in this asana is in representative of Vyasadeva. That's why it's called Vyasasana, right? But Krishna himself is coming. Because as you are representing as Lord Vyas, maybe some other people come, then you don't have to raise. But Lord Balaram himself comes. And Lord Balaram could realize that some pride. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram.